channel right now. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Hey, everybody, this is Palmiotti of U&I Studios, and we're just saying things are pretty funny.
Yeah. Comedy, friend.
So, let's see. Let me go through the steps. First, we got the ticker tape saying, hey, if you're not already subscribed to my channel and trying to pass 1,000 subscribers, please help the brother out.
That means hit that like and strike that bell, friend, to all. Do it today. Do it for Peter. Do it for yourself.
Help yourself out. Watch my channel.
There it is, friends.
And I got a 1K subscriber club happening in my creator-owned comics group, Facebook group. And I got a post specifically for this. If you're a channel about making comics, talking about comics, anything comics related, just put your name. Comment in that post, the description of your channel, as well as a link to your channel. And I had 3 previous to this that I plugged all week, and I'm plugging these people's all this week. We got Meredith, Sam, and Dora. Go check out their channels. The links themselves are below the video in my 1,000 links down there. So please go check it out. Let me click out of that, because then you can see us. So let me go back there. Burp, burp, burp. All right. And we got 1,000 comments. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We got Laura. Welcome, Lola Meets.
Hello, Lola friend. Hello, Dori.
You're live again. Yes. I was just saying, it's like I'm doing back-to-back Jeopardy episodes tonight. We got Comics Mate. Good day. Dean.
Comics Mate.
Yes.
Wow.
Crimson Owl Comics. What's up? That's Ronnie. And who's this guy? Matt? I think you might know him. Powerhouse Creators. That's us.
Boy, friend. There's lots of friends in the friend chat today, friend.
Hello, friend.
Hello, friends. Be sure to sign up for Peter's channel. You don't want to miss another exciting episode of us. Another people.
Yes, that's right.
Unlike I did last week.
On the back chat. Yes.
Well, I was missing out like a fool. But it's okay. We're here now, friends.
And Billy's here too. Welcome, Billy.
Billy.
He's
colors extraordinaire to the stars.
That's right. Go see his incredible work on Twitter. Fantastic stuff. As well as Matt, as well as Dori, as well as Comic Mate. I don't think Crimson Owl Comics is on Twitter yet, but find everybody everywhere.
Friend.
Yes. And Lola Meets has a YouTube channel, much like most of the people here. Yes.
Be sure to sign up for that, Lola.
So yeah, I had to reschedule you.
Yes, all my fault. I was a complete fool. Sorry. Sorry about that.
That's fine. Stuff happens.
I popped in and I was like, all right, I'm here. Let's do this. And I was like, hello? Is anybody in here? Echo. I showed up late to my own party. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Everybody had already been there and left. And they were like, well.
I did a fake show. I just did a solo show.
Good on you.
Because
Trooper.
Yes. But I know I had a clever title for that one, which I forgot. So I just called this one Goblin Girl's Epic Saga.
Yeah, there you go. Because it's going to be epic, friend.
It is. It is. Do you want to tell the peoples?
Tell the peoples? I could show the peoples.
You can show the peoples.
I have something that I have not showed online yet. Something special just for you, Peter. Let me fire it up real quick.
The hell is it?
I should have had this prepared, Peter, but I did not.
Well,
just like I was not prepared to show up on time to your gracious channel last week. Here I am.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So let's share screen.
Let me click stuff.
I'm not going to share any audio, so it doesn't matter. And clickety clack.
Don't fight back.
So these are the high res pages of Goblin Girl.
Awesome.
Can you see them?
I see one.
All right, so this is the cover. And so I scanned all these the other night. Finally, a bunch of the pages. And let's click around here. And that didn't work. Boomering it. Boomering it, Peter. Boomering it. Why doesn't this work? Okay.
Yeah.
I got it fixed now, Peter. I figured out what it was. That I did wrong. So
yeah, it's that Windows new pictures program is.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
So share this, then share that, then share it with a wiffle ball bat.
Yeah, we're back here.
Yes, now we can see it. All right. But I need to go into here so I can show you. Okay. Now we can scroll through. So, I swear, there's like a learning curve on here. That there we go. There we go. Now you can see all the art. I swear, Peter, eventually I'll be a grown StreamYard adult. And I'll be able to do this
I'll make it full screen so people can see your phenomenal work.
So this is the cover. This is the cover to the first issue. It's going to be inlaid with some other graphical elements around it, with the logo on it, obviously. But this is the grayscale version. Yes, right. And color. And I'm waiting to hear on that right now. So we'll see. So here's kind of a layout for page 1, even with some temporary words on here. I mean, those are the words, but as you can see, it has spatial issues. Spatial issues with the bubble, and I wasn't happy with it. And we had a laugh about it today. But yeah, so that's page 1, and these are some of the pages. So yeah, so basically, Goblin Girl. It's a fantasy tale about a character named Gin, who is the Goblin Girl, and she is basically put in prison by her family for being part of a prophecy that she will end their dynasty or whatever, their empire, and basically she's helped by this character that is Rathul, who is her protector / kind of father figure. He's kind of a character that raised her, and because she was left alone in this oubliette dungeon thing, and he ends up breaking her out instead of killing her, and basically that sets forth the chain of events of basically violence and destruction on these goblins, and basically brings the prophecy to fruition. So it's kind of like a, one of those sort of tales. And
Right.
she comes from a world that is like a fantasy world that's gone Mad Max. It's gone post-apocalyptic because on the screen here there's a shot of it, basically that happening, which is there was an armor that was supposed to be like a heavenly armor given to them by these sort of Nephilim angel guys, and whoever wore it, if they were like completely pure of spirit, like a monk type person, they could wield it with utmost proficiency. But what ends up happening is somebody ended up wielding the armor, and they were not that individual. They were corrupted spirit. So when they used the armor against an evil enemy, it was almost like a high-powered magnets in reverse, flip back towards each other. And so they repel each other. So
Right.
when that happened, it caused a big energy backwash, and it destroyed most of this fantasy world, and basically annihilated a lot of magic in this world. So now it's there's not really any kingdoms. It's just kind of people nomadically roaming around. There's some people banding together, but it's not like it was before. And so now Goblin Girl is going to come back into this world, and she's going to kind of spark life back into that fire that is some of these fantasy elements. And with that comes the dark specter of the negative energy that's going to try and stop her, because it's one of those tales. But yeah, so it's just a violent sort of fantasy book. Doesn't really, I don't know if, I guess it's kind of, I would say it's R-rated in tone. It's got lots of gore in it, lots of monsters. Here's a page that I just redrew some elements this morning. I was gonna reuse two panels, which would be panel 1 and panel 3 on this, and I decided not to reuse them at the last minute as I was trying to clip them in, and I was like, yeah, these don't look good. So I ended up redrawing the ones that are on this page. So they came out pretty good. They were like quick little sketches. If anything, I look at them now and I kind of go, my quality work has gotten better since I drew this page like a couple months back. So it's kind of weird to me to look at it. But yeah.
Well, you did a long ass stream with Shelby Robinson recently.
Yes.
And I think it was on
Tortured
there
Shelby.
that I saw you flipping through all the pages you got done and saying like it's just an incredible amount of work that you're penciling, inking, then gray toning, then it's just like you just going from batch to batch to batch.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Like it's weird. I try and balance it so that like I'm going a little ways, then going back, then going forward, and then going. Not, I mean, I could consistently just go through and just do page after page after page, like from beginning to end. But I feel like it's raising my work quality a little bit to do like a section, at least because of the gray tones and everything. I do a section and then I roll back and then I gray tone them that way. And it has been helping. Like, even like I said, that one page that I added a couple panels to. But yeah, it's a lot. I have been going a little slower lately than I would like. But yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't complain. A page a day is probably
it's a lot.
I mean, that's good, I guess.
You want to go close up like
a go close up.
Like, yeah, look at that detail.
See
The first
if
panel.
it'll let me go close up on this without. There we go.
Look at that crazy detail.
Yeah. Yep. That's the Goblin King. This is where Rathul is bringing some horns. He's there in the bottom right panel. It's trying to suggest that he had done her in as he requested. But
right.
Here he is. He's rejoicing. Yes, I shall live.
Wow.
So, but
crazy.
Yeah, that's the old Goblin King. Let's see if it'll let me. See here. Oop, that's kind of crazy. Let's go back here real quick. Better shot of his face in that panel.
Nice.
Zoom out.
Man,
there.
it's incredible.
So yeah, kind of get in there, noodle around with him. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. I enjoy to move along faster just because I'm telling the story to myself. So I want to get to the next section. I don't want to have to wait, So that's a lot of the speedy stuff is because of that. But man, like this 1 page a day thing on some days, like, because I was working on a book before I did this one, which is supposed to come out in October. And I was doing 6 of these a day. And now I feel like with Goblin Girl, I'm like, maybe I'm being too precious. I'm whittling sometimes a little too far too long or something. I don't know why it's taking me so long. Because the other pages are just as like detailed graphically as these. So, but
well, when it's a paid gig for somebody else, you don't really care. You don't care as much. Yeah.
I guess maybe like
I always care, but it's like if it's your own baby, then you don't have all the answers. You're sort of developing a lot of the answers as you go, right. And so you're taking your time a little bit to uncover certain things along the way. It's like, well, what's that character's motivation? Like, does that make sense? And, like you start thinking about things.
Yeah.
Being the all powerful everything on it.
It's a good page.
It's a good page.
It's a good page. Yeah. Goblin Girl's gonna make people die today. Hey. It's a good page. But yeah, there she is. She's putting her boot through a guy's face, grabbing his tongue and ripping it out the other side of his head. So, yeah. So I don't know. I'm having a good time with this. I mean, I think that's also part of it. Probably, I'm slowing down. I'm enjoying the run, I guess, as I'm going through this stuff.
You'll never be working on issue 1 forever.
Yeah,
hopefully
it's true. I keep trying to remind myself that I'm most likely gonna be letting go of these pages on the campaign. I'm gonna put them up there as options. Yeah. Right. Which I'm kind of all right with that. I'm like I've sat with some of these long enough. Let somebody else enjoy them, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been making sure I get these high-res scans of them, and
it's looking really good. I don't know if you're following the chat. but it's a lot of your friends are saying, Dan, this is sick, says Mike. Description on comments says, wicked. Matt says,
thank you.
I can't wait for the CGI animated movie.
Oh my God. Never happened. Unless the Japanese made it. I don't think.
Billy says,
I think there's
a girl making her way in the world growing up with strict parents.
That's right. She's just trying to get that dollar to make them holler.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got.
Here's a page everybody seems to love.
Yeah, that's cool.
Big old rock monster. It's got little dudes falling in the mouth right here.
Lobster.
A couple guys surfing on his shoulder. Let's see, what do we got down here? Got Goblin Girl down here. Rathul. We've got some dudes getting immolated by the lava. This guy. There's another guy getting burnt alive. So yeah.
Nefarious is here.
What's that?
Nefarious is here.
Hello, Nefarious. Thank you for showing up, friend.
Yes.
But yeah. So there is going to be a version of the book that's going to be all this gray tone as well as the color. So everybody will have the option. It'll basically be these images.
Makes me angry.
What? I don't want anybody to be angry.
Says this art makes me. Oh, he says why though. Hold on. The campaign is going to hit so damn hard. It's going to get so many people so damn hard.
I hope it does. I hope it hits. I hope people want it, you know. That's what I'm over here for.
Yeah. There's so many great creators making comics. I don't see enough fantasy related material out there, really.
Yeah. So. I had seen some when I came over here to the Comicsgate friendos, and specifically I saw a book that Raging Golden Eagle was doing called Blade Devil, and I felt like I was pretty much in that pocket for what I was doing, and I was like, yeah, I guess everybody's gonna want Lord of the Rings, and they're also gonna want Final Fantasy, but I was just kind of I wanted to be doing something where I didn't feel like I was treading too much off of like an established coattail or something like that. But everybody seemed to think Goblin Girl was the thing to do, so we went with that one first.
Very cool.
Yeah. Here we are, friend.
Here we are. It says, it's too damn good, Dan. It's some of the best art of the year.
I appreciate that.
It's definitely a big stack of art. So you see it all in one pile.
Yeah. This one came out pretty good. Let's zoom in on this one. This is one of those ones I was like working on it and I wasn't quite sure if it was hitting the mark. But I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Let's see what else we got here. It's the most recent page. See, this one I toiled on for a little bit. It should have been very straightforward. But came out pretty good. Look at that.
Nicey.
There it is. Big lava rock monster.
Yeah. That's fantasy for you.
Yeah. So I guess I will click out of that. We'll go back. We'll go back here, friend.
Yes, here where the current action is.
I have one page left to actually pencil for the book, which isn't really even a page. It's like an ad promo for the second book.
Oh, really?
And,
so you penciled everything?
Yeah, I've got all the pages penciled.
Nice.
And they're almost all inked as well. I have. Let's see here. I got my little stack right here.
You don't have it memorized yet?
I don't have them memorized. I had them memorized earlier, but I forgot.
Yeah, it's understandable. It's a lot.
Memory gap. Let's see. Okay. So that goes there. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have 18 pages left to finish. And out of this 18, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 pages to do the line art for, and then I have to grayscale all 18 of them. But as I said, it's probably more like 19 because I have this little tail end sort of promo for the second book,
Right.
which is kind of like a bumper ad, like next time on Goblin Girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one of those too.
But here's the final page of the actual storybook.
The big reveal.
Kind of. This is where the characters basically this one of the other travelers that's part of her group. He's just eviscerated these dudes with his bare hands, basically. He turns to the camera and he makes his big dialogue spiel. Covered in blood.
Nice.
Yet to see the violence.
Muttman is here. Hey, Peter. What are y'all up to tonight? Well, we're working on our comics. I'm working on Retro. Dan is working on Goblin Girl.
Goblin Girl. Only on Indiegogo.
Eventually. You don't have a set date yet, right?
I have a what? Set date?
You don't have it. Yeah.
Tentatively the beginning of September, but okay. I'm waiting on Matt Yackey to give me the cover. All I need is that cover.
Oh, really?
But yeah, because I mean, I have a few things that I've already colored that I can use as like color samples, right. Of some stuff because it'll look better than what I have, because Matt's coloring it and it'll look great. But I need the cover colored, obviously, because I'm gonna have it for mock-ups for the book and stuff in the promotional to show people, right. Like, hey, this is the cover of the book. So
if you think that's cool,
yeah,
the rest of it.
Wait until you see what we're cooking up, friend. Stories and images that will amaze and disgust equally at the same time.
Defy logic.
That's right. Absence of logic and reality. If that's what you're looking for, you've come to the right place, friend. Step right up. Witness a tale of debauchery and awfulness.
Yes, indeed. So that's cool. So, yeah. This will be your first crowdfunder?
Yes, it'll be my first crowdfunder.
So are you nervous on such a prospect, or you think...
that is a big Roger Wilco. I'm in my mind, I'm keeping hoping that people show up. like everybody's like, oh, it's gonna do phenomenal. But I'm like, if people actually come out and buy, like, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how much people want a booby book over here at the Comicsgate crowdfunders.
I'm sure they will. And it's more than just that. It's a fantasy story.
Yeah. That's what I keep telling everybody. And everybody that I have told the story to seems to get it, which is cool. That it's kind of partially like a whole sort of gag. the boob stuff, but I mean, it's also visual fun, but for the most part, it's meant to
titillate.
Yeah, titillate me humor, kind of like what Elvira, does with her shtick. It's supposed to be sort of that sort of vibe. I'm just hoping that what I'm doing comes off well like that. Well, I think it does.
There's the fantasy stories of Conan, and Conan's not normal, like his build or anything. It's, to me, that's the same difference.
Yeah.
To a certain extent,
And that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Some hand lettering here.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. I was just gonna do all this with with the text tool, but I was like, why not just get extra fancy and do it all by hand?
Yeah, I know somebody who does a lot of his own lettering by hand, and
yeah,
I mean he's an art director, and he's got experience outside of comics and whatnot, but he does a lot of his own hand lettering, and he recommends that for people who never have done that. It's like I'm left-handed, so I'm less inclined to do lettering because
is that like a drawback for that?
I would have to do it backwards, so I won't be smudging over what I just did, and unless I do it fast, I'm gonna come out with wacky sizes of letters.
Oh wow!
It's a consideration, So I have to sort of write it on the page instead of completely guessing.
Right.
I guess it's always good to have some sort of guideline rather than just making it up as you go with ink on a page. But
well, that's what I'm doing. I'm just making it up.
What's the next word? Carburetor.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Megaphone.
doesn't make sense.
Of course it does.
Of course. Of course.
There we go.
So
Chapter.
Streaming
so exciting.
When you go live, or
yeah, I'm hoping. I'm kind of hoping that I go on my buddy Dan Piegal's page, to initially launch,
right?
As in kind of like in the sense that he brought me into this thing, he'll take me out of this thing, sort of thing. But
I was like co-interviewer, but not really. A friend of mine, Marshall Lee, interviewed him. Had a really good conversation. And I was sort of there, I don't know, for support. Because my friend was like really nervous talking to Dan. But he's a good guy. He does really good work. He knows his stuff.
Yeah, I've been lucky that I've been friends with him for several years, and he's always supported me as a creative fellow.
As a fellow human being.
Yes. But yeah, and I had been pushing for him for a while to get back to doing comics again, and for a long time he was just like, nah. He's like, there's no money in that. It's a waste of time. And he was very damaged by his experiences at DC and Marvel that he'd had. So,
what did he do up at DC?
He did an entire run of Superman that evidently, when it was sent to the offices, got like pushed behind a file cabinet or something.
Jesus.
And then found years later.
Oh, that's crap.
And yeah, and so I remember when he was working on it, it was crazy. And I was like, what? The guy, he was like, yeah. He's like, they can't find it. He's like, it's gone. And I'm like, Jesus. So yeah, he was a little burnt by that, and he just, I don't know. He wanted to go off and do more with like film directing and music videos and stuff like that, because he had lots of friends in that arena, and so that's what he did. And he's carved out a pretty successful career just doing that, you know. So I think when I was like, hey man, you should do comics. See, he was just kind of like, so that's not. He's like, that's not art director money. So I was like, all right, I guess you're right, buddy. And so I just kind of kept toiling away on my own projects as I do to entertain myself. And next thing I know, Ethan's got his ear, and he's thinking about coming over here to do some crowdfunders, and you know. And he was like, hey man, he's like, you should come over here. He's like, they would love your stuff over here. Like, this is the place. And I was like, all right, well, I will go over there and see what's what. And that's how I ended up over here. So I figure he's responsible for me being here. So I'm here because I wanted to be here, but I feel like in a way, yeah. Well, I don't know if he owes me. Maybe I owe him. We'll see. Hopefully, I'll owe him. Hopefully, he will be proved to be right that I'm over here for a reason.
Right.
Doing crowdfunders.
I think it's the way.
I hope so, man. Like, I mean, it seems like it is. A lot of people are doing really well.
Yeah, not everybody, but a good enough amount of people are, and
yeah, I mean, I think it all comes down to like the product and the quality of the work. Usually speaks volumes. Although I've seen lots of stuff that the quality of the work is just kind of whatever, and it still does really well. So, I don't know.
What book is that?
I can't think of it right now. And it's nobody we know. It's just like I've been cruising around like Kickstarter and Indiegogo for a while before I even kind of thought about doing my own thing over here. I was just like buying other people's stuff. And I'd seen a lot of stuff. I'd even backed some stuff that I was just kind of like, when I got it, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is all I'm getting. Like, this isn't very good. There was a book specifically over on Kickstarter that was like supposed to be like a spaghetti western about a female cowboy or whatever. And it looked cool. And it was there's a, I can't remember what the name of the company is, but it's some company that's like made by fans, crowdfunded by fans. Like it was like some sort of like production studio, and they're all like they make, like, I guess they were responsible for making that movie Mandy with Nick Cage, and
oh yeah,
they also helped get money for that Kevin Smith movie. God, the last Kevin Smith movie that he did, where it was like Jay and Silent Bob movie or whatever, that was just kind of atrocious to watch.
I didn't see it.
I tried. I was a huge Kevin Smith fan, and that was the beginning of the end for me, was that movie. I tried watching that shit, and it was just like, it was so disjointed in a way that like I couldn't even enjoy it. The only way you could really enjoy it is if like you were 100% stoned watching it. Like it was, the humor was just not there. Like, I don't know.
It's what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It's what I thought. Yeah, just based off what I've seen.
Well, I guess I was hoping it would be more like some of the other stuff, though.
It just looked like, hey, we're having a road trip and we're making a movie at the same time, and it's not gonna let's see what Dori's saying here. It's good when you're hoping for a red light so you can actually pause and look at the art. Dang, commute.
Thank you, friend.
She's in her car, and she says, "That's what I did. I created my own set of fronts, and I'm in the course of a red lettering my book."
Nice.
Yeah. And
yeah.
She says, "We." Good.
I unfortunately, I had a font that I could just put this in, but I was like, no, I have to draw this font now. Like, I couldn't just go with the one that I already had in the lettering program.
Right.
So I made the mistake. I should have went with my own font, but yeah. So maybe it's not a mistake. I mean, at the end of it, I'll have a artifact of some lovely art that I created. So just kind of on the face of it, it's just like,
Right. So for those checking out this video, loving your artwork, I believe I put some of your links. I forget. I like set up 7 streams at once or within a couple of days.
Because you're a madman also.
Yeah, if I don't have all your links, then you can tell me which ones to add or whatever. But Dan Piegal is across the interwebs.
Yes, Dan Piegal. There's a secret, not so secret Instagram of Dan Piegal art that's got a bunch of stuff that's not really. I mean, there's some booby stuff in it, but it's mainly a lot of my general stuff, like lots of like horror themed stuff, because I've done a lot of like posters and things for horror conventions and film premieres at the Man's Chinese Theater in Hollywood, and so there's a lot of that stuff in there, and just some of my general stuff on there. And then I have the Squish Show, which is my little red guy who's like a puppet. Don't tell him he's a puppet, because he's a human being, man. But so I have that over there as well. He's on Instagram, YouTube, and he is on Twitter, but I haven't really done much on there. My girlfriend was telling me, she's like, you should just do little vlog videos with him on Twitter. Like, I think those would be funny. Just him randomly every day, like checking in. And I'm like, oh, maybe. But yeah, but Boob Dan art is pretty much everywhere. It's Instagram, Twitter, DeviantArt, YouTube. Definitely go over to YouTube and sign up for that. I'm trying to build up my audience, friend. Every little click and bell ring helps.
Yes, it does.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, so many people don't know you or your work, but you do great work.
Thank you,
Pretty
sir.
Decent guy, you know.
You are as well, friend.
Oh,
I have to say, I was really excited when I became friends with you on the interwebs.
yeah.
I said, I know Peter Palmiotti.
That's right.
He's my friend now. Yes.
Nobody can take him away from you.
That's right. They can try. I will kill them.
They always try.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I don't know if I care for this guy's head. I should have changed the angle. It's the eyes. It's always in the eyes. If the eyes aren't right, then the whole thing falls apart.
That's just a weird looking oval.
Yeah. I need to. That's what it was. I didn't plant the oval. Excuse me. Oh, it's dusty back here. It's dusty back here in the treasure trove cave. Cave of unnatural wonders that I work out of via satellite.
Are you west coast? Are you?
Yes, I am.
California.
I'm mere minutes from Disneyland, where I'm at right now.
Nice. Basically, fall out of your front door into his arms.
Yeah, I'm very close to. I'm basically in the town where Rob Liefeld got kind of started off the meteoric rise of his comic career.
That's right.
So yeah, as well as Dan Piegal. He came down here after he got a job at Image and started out at the same place here.
Yeah.
Everyone that came here was much more successful than me for, living here.
Well, come on. I'm from New York and not nearly as successful as everybody else. No, some others.
Right.
But regardless, we'll get there.
It'll
We'll
work
take
out.
over the industry when they're not looking.
It's true.
So the reason I brought that up was I saw, like, I guess North part of California or whatever is having horrible fires.
Really?
I know, like, what was it, a year ago? Like, RT Bear moved out of there.
Yeah, Art lived really close to me.
And Art, like, the last summer fires were like, he had to leave his home, but they were sort of barely touching his backyard or something.
Yeah, there was a huge fire, like literally in his backyard, where he was at. I currently work my day job like through that area, and I remember it because he lived pretty close to like the freeway area there, and it's like a big sort of brush canyon. It's sort of a wilderness almost situation there, and his whole hill there was a bunch of houses that got very close to getting burnt out. There was a lot that did in some places, but where he was at, it kind of climbed up and like went right to the fences of their backyards, and then like they were able to like put it out and stop it from burning the houses. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and now it's supposedly worse or something. I don't know. I don't really watch too much news, but
yeah,
supposedly a lot
I haven't seen a lot of it here recently. Like fire wise, but yeah, I mean,
it's scary.
It happens. We do have a season, as they say, of where they expect massive amounts of forest fires, and I think we're kind of in that right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think a lot of the firebug type people are not as active right now for whatever reason.
Firebug is in preventive firebugs, or
as in like the dudes that run out and like do stupid stuff or intentionally set stuff ablaze to watch it burn.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of homeless though, and they tend to light these goofy campfires that burn everybody's houses out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
heard there was a tremendous increase of homeless.
There is. It's really bad here. Yeah.
Somebody asked me if I have any homeless in the town I'm in. You know, it's a small town, but it's like, 11, 12,000 people, so it's not nothing. But
right.
As far as I know, I'm not aware of even one person that's homeless.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just like
there's a lot of
crap. There's a lot of crappy, cheap homes. Like, you don't have an excuse to be outside.
Right. Yeah, I hear this is like one of the worst places to be homeless because there's just there's no way, there's really no way to get ahead or get yourself out of the situation here because it's so disparaging, like the poverty level to to being sort of getting by. You're either just barely getting by, or you're super rich here, or you're homeless.
Right, yeah.
It's crazy. Like, it's super, like, ridiculous here. Like, I don't know. I probably should have moved when Dan moved. I'm like, well, one of my good friends is gone. Maybe it's time to reassess my living situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I wouldn't have met my girlfriend if I'd done that, I guess.
Yeah. That's what that's what originally drove me here to this small town. Like I was in Kentucky originally. I came to Bardstown, which is a beautiful town. It's like the fastest growing town in Kentucky. And I would have stayed there, but it's like I did want a security at the time of some sort of day job, and really wasn't happening there. I moved to Louisville, and that's much better for work, but it's also like I lucked out to getting in a good neighborhood there. But there's a lot of scary neighborhoods there, and I'm from New York, and
Yo, that's saying a lot.
That's saying a lot, because like I used to walk around New York 3, 4 in the morning. It's like as if it's nothing, just oblivious to the real danger, I guess.
Yeah. 80s, right?
Yeah.
When I'd seen it, it was like the Warriors and shit.
Oh yeah, it's used to walk around Times Square when it was scary. Like it's all like X-rated movies and karate movies and and graffiti everywhere, and half the buildings looked like they were not livable, not open,
Wow.
Just really like. Then Disney took over the neighborhood and cleaned it all up. And now it's changed everything.
Right. Supposedly I think somebody was saying it's kind of back to being a mess again.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I know I'll visit at some point. And, it's like everything changes constantly. Like, it's like the neighborhood I grew up in isn't what it was when I was young and living there.
Right.
I mean, it was all white when I was growing up. There was like Italians and Irish and Jewish and yada yada yada.
RICO laws put an end to all of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's bizarre because I went to like, let's see, before high school, I took a course at a school nearby, and I was literally the only white kid there. There was one Scottish kid, and everybody else was black. It's like I have nothing against anyone, but it was just like our neighborhood was so so old, whatever. Like
right.
Everything's changed since then, which is a good thing. It's like when I went to high school, which was in Manhattan, was the first time I was around kids of every race and culture and everything. Like, I had Asian friends and Russian friends and black friends and everything. It was like, I joined the X-Men. It was like,
the X-Men. It's great.
It's like,
yeah, it was pretty. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing here. It was growing up. Well, here a little different because here it was you know, it was like 60% like Mexican kids, and then everything else kind of was about a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Right.
So.
Hey, Frank Salazar.
Frank Salazar.
Yeah, Salazar Art Nation. Don't you know Frank?
I don't think I've had the privilege to have known Frank yet.
He runs in very specific circles.
Okay. Well, that's everybody seems to do that, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Even I have little cul-de-sacs that I run around in.
Yeah, I mean that's why I do this. That's why I'm trying to expand beyond circle of friends I know and get to know other people. I mean, there's only so much time in the day, but
right.
But definitely have come across a lot more new people, and which is awesome. And it's like,
yeah,
you're talking about Comicsgate, and it's like I consider myself an independent.
That's, I mean, I consider myself that too, but I mean, being over here on YouTube for the most part, it's a very Comicsgate. Well, at least most of the channels where I've met people, because I was brought in by Dan, so he kind of went into the Comicsgate thing, and so a lot of people I've met were through there. But I don't see as many. I mean, there's some independent people, but most of the bigger channels are all Comicsgate people. So, but even that, like a lot of those people are there. I would say they're independent. They kind of like a Billy Tucci and Brian Polito and that type of vibe.
Yeah. Frank says, well, you can check out Salazar Art Nation or the Tarocco Creative Cast to find out what I do.
The Tarocco Creative Cast?
Yeah, that's he does a show with this girl Anna, and they interview people on that. The Salazar Art Nation is his solo show,
Sweet.
solo channel. But yeah, I mean, it's like I've gotten to know a lot more people through you and your group, and it's all just great people just wanting to make books and so supportive, so just really glad for you to be there. It's like it's awesome. Yeah.
That's more or less where I'm at with it. I'm just over here trying to make some funny books, man, or do some art that entertains people in some way.
My art will entertain you.
Hopefully.
So, who are some of the heroes you grew up on, like artistically speaking?
Artistically speaking,
yeah.
Let's see. See, Charles Schultz.
Nice.
I'm trying to go back to earliest memory. I would say Charles Schultz, Walt Disney stable of artists, big Rankin Bass fan, like all that type of stuff. I like ate up anytime I saw they had some sort of animation, like Last Unicorn or The Hobbit, all the Return of the King, all that stuff. And let's see who else. A lot of the old animation.
I was gonna say, like, you want to make comics, like, I'm sure there's a lot of
Yeah, well, I was
but
into the cartoons before I was into the comics. I came into
yeah,
comics like late as a kid.
oh yeah,
When I got into comics, probably my earliest influence probably Larry Hama and
right,
some of his guys from the GI Joe, because I was a big GI Joe guy and I bought all the GI Joe comics.
right.
It was like the first thing that I actually had I cut out the little card in the back of one of my GI Joes and mailed away for a subscription to the comic, and they mailed it to my house in the most, like, I didn't realize at the time, but in the most unsecured fashion to have your book be in a good shape ever, which is just the comic wrapped with one sheet of like news, like a butcher paper or something, and it wasn't even sealed on the ends. It was just like slid in between, like a like a like a rubber band around it, like of just a big paper sheath around it. So it covered the cover, so like nobody could write on it or anything like that directly on it. But like it was like just flimsy. It was a piece of junk mail, you know. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, so I there was that. So probably Michael Golden probably was like
yeah.
one of the early influences, I think, where I saw his stuff and I went, ugh, like, who is this? Like, I don't think I was like, who is this artist? Because at that time I wasn't connecting, you know, artists with art. Like, it was just this thing that was created that came out. It didn't even dawn on me for some reason as a simple kid that freaking that somebody got paid to draw that stuff. And it was
Right.
funny, like it wasn't until I got into high school that I I went to a friend of mine I was in high school with my freshman year is like, hey, like, this guy's gonna be at the local comic shop signing. You want to go this weekend? And I was like, is that our shop? And he's like, yeah, yeah. And I was like, all right, let's go do that. And I went down there, and that's what changed it all for me. I saw this guy was doing like really energized comic art that I had never seen artwork like this, and he was making a living at it, uh just doing comics. I was just like, what the hell is this? So I immediately stopped doing my homework and stopped turning in my sheets, because I was drawing feverishly on the back of anything I could get my hands on at the time. And
Right.
so I would like finish classwork, and I wouldn't turn in the sheet because I would flip it over because I'd finish early and start drawing stuff on the back. And I was like, man, if I turn this in, I'll never see this drawing again. This is like the greatest thing I've ever drawn. And I did that for about a year, and then ended up having to go to a different, like a continuation school to like make up my units that I messed up from not turning in all this work that I'd done. But so to that, I would have to say thank you, Rob Liefeld, and I don't like, he's the reason why I did so terrible in school. No, I learned it from watching him. But yeah, because he was the guy, man. He was the guy that lived in our town that was doing the comics and making a living at it. And like right around that time, it was weird because I think the other thing about it is it was like right at that perfect moment to become obsessed like that, because he had just started New Mutants, and he was like 6 months away from making that Spike Lee commercial. So it was like the buildup in my mind of like being a comic creator was like
Right.
immediate. It was like, oh, you do this thing, and then 6 months, like the world takes notice, and the next thing you know, you're running your own company. You know what I mean? So it's like your
Yeah.
brain's like going, you could do this, Billy. You can make money. You know, like it was crazy, and
Yeah.
but yeah, so here I am.
Trying.
Trying,
trying,
yeah.
trying to reach that level. It's funny because Jason, who was on earlier, has a book on Kickstarter right now, Kill a Bad, and it's very inspired by 90s Image comics.
Okay.
And the video, the beginning of the video that they did is sort of a spoof on like Rob Liefeld's commercial.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So it's pretty hilarious. So it's, you know, the comic itself is like it's a 90s superhero team, but then they're throwing in a serial killer. So
okay,
yeah, so
that's cool.
A lot of fun. Yeah. But yeah, the sort of commercial in it is really funny.
That sounds great. But yeah, I mean that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's weird, for better or for worse. I mean, it sparked the imagination of millions of wanting to be artists. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, I come at it differently because
it's a legacy with you.
I mean, during the 90s, I was in comics, so
right. I mean,
you know,
as I've said many times, Peter, like when you're born a Palmiotti, like you have the name Palmiotti. Like anybody with that name, they're either making fine food or they're comic book artists, or both. Right?
Well, I have 3 older brothers, and only me and the next one up, which is Jimmy, are in comics. We all get some talent from our father.
Oh.
You know, he wasn't a professional artist, but he was capable of drawing. You know, he would come home and you know, he like worked 6 days a week. He co-owned a house paint store, and so he just like take out, you know, like a pen and start doodling on the back of a newspaper or whatever, and he drew cowboys and horses and stuff like that.
Oh wow! Yeah, I was gonna say, like, was he doing cartoon illustration or was he doing fine art illustration?
It was fine art, but it wasn't elaborate. It was just, you know, basic drawing of it. This is a horse. This is a cowboy. This is, you know, whatever. But he did the signs at work. I knew that. Like, so he had a certain sense of design about him. I found out after he passed away, because he passed away back in '88, that, you know, he was in World War II.
Wow.
And you know, he was a sergeant, whatever. But he was one of the guys that painted a couple of the planes. Like, you know, how every plane had, you know, the sexy girl on the side. He painted a couple of those.
Wow.
I wish I knew which ones. But, you know, I just heard, you know, second or third hand or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you know, he had a couple of war stories, but he didn't go through serious stuff. You know, like the only time he was shot at was when him and his buddies were, you know, on a farm stealing bananas, and the farmer came out with a shotgun.
Oh my god!
But
here to liberate me, more like liberate my fruit. Hey!
But yeah, so I think we definitely have gotten something like in our genes from him, even though, like, I feel like most of my early days, even early days of my career, I felt I struggled to really get my art out. To really make it decent, because I knew like day one, I knew I sucked as an inker, but that's what I was going to
do. You think so? You think you suck as an inker?
No, not now.
Okay, I was going to say, I was like, you're a good inker, man. I would not think that at all.
But when I began inking comics, is like that. I knew that was my way in to comics, to working on comics,
Right.
And I knew I had the ability to get good, but I also knew day one I sucked. So it was just a matter of working hard to get better.
Right.
Yeah.
Putting in the time.
Yeah, because I mean, some things you just know intuitively, like, oh, I don't know that now, but I can figure it out. It's kind of like sex, It's like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
we had, I'm gonna, who asked this question? Where was it? Maybe go. Frank's sharing a lot of links as well as Dan's channel. You're under 100 subscribers, right? You don't have a.
Yeah, I'm not freaking monetized or anything like that. Oh, you know what? No. I need to do that actually. I have over 100 subscribers now, so I can do my own URL. I just haven't done that yet. That's like I'm a bit of a boomer a little bit still, right. Even though I worked in video games for years. I'm a little slow on the uptick on some of that stuff, but I will get that. You just remind me of that actually, because somebody was telling me they're like, oh, you need to. You can change it now, so it's directly attached to your name, and I just haven't done it.
It could be youtube.com/c/whatever Dan face or whatever. I knew what you would put there.
I'm gonna put there what you told me to put there.
Dan face. Come to
Dan
the
face
channel. Landon asked earlier, what does Dan think about Jack Kirby?
About what?
Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby? I love Jack Kirby. Yeah. But I will say Jack Kirby falls into that category of I didn't really learn about him till after I'd been in like I didn't learn about Kirby necessarily. Like I might have seen his work, but I didn't know that there was an individual named Kirby that was creating stuff. Like the first time I learned was like Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, and Rob Liefeld. Those were the guys that I knew were responsible for drawing comics. And from them, I spread out. And there's people that a lot of people are like, this guy's a legend. His stuff changed the world. And I remember seeing people and going, yeah, that shit ain't hot. That shit's just catfish to me.
You've seen the latest issue of Captain America he did, where Captain America through his gloves has these giant ass fingernails. The last batch of comics of Captain America comics that he did was not his best work, but still a charm to it. It was always a charm.
But I mean, I love his stuff now. Graphically, without a doubt, he is the bar. You know what I mean? For out of your head creating something wholly original, as much as a lot of stuff, everybody's doing cool things, even me, the stuff that I'm creating, it's kind of derivative of something. You know what I mean? There's very few original Bill Finger Batman or the Superman or even or Spider-Man Ditko. It's it's such a weird thing. You know what I mean? To try and create something that's that iconic and original. So a lot of the people I I clung onto were the people that were doing some like crazy flashy thing, you know, when I came over. But I I remember Mike Mignola would do like fill-in issues like in between some of the artists I love, and I'd be like, who's this crappy dude? Like I don't want to have to look at this guy's crappy art. Like I hated his stuff. He was like, I used to talk so much shit on his art. Like I was just like, oh, this guy sucks. I can't stand this guy's art. Just ruins my freaking annual run on these X-Men books, you know. And now I'm just like, oh, like man, if I could at least have some of the graphical sense, it would be amazing. You know, and Kirby I think was the same way to a certain extent for a little, not as long as Mignola. Like Mignola like really fucking hated his graphical shit for a long time. I don't think I ever fell in love with him until he started doing Hellboy, and then like that like clicked the thing in my brain, and I was able to finally like it was like weird. It was like one of those paintings they used to sell in the mall that was like a bunch of spots, and when you looked at it long enough, your eyes adjusted and it looked like something. His shit was like that to me to a certain extent. I had to look at it for a long time before it actually became anything that was digestible. And Kirby in the beginning, I'll admit, was a little bit of that for me because it was so. It is graphical in that sense. They kind of both come from that same school. I feel of simplistic, sort of like telling something very visually immediate, recognizable with a certain amount of gesture. And I think when you're used to seeing something that's rendered like to the hills, like all crazy, like you're looking at P. Craig Russell and freaking the other guy that's like a big influence on me, Richard Corbin. You're looking at that type of stuff, and then you go over to Kirby and Mignola, and it's just like these guys didn't even try. Like, there's nothing going on here.
Okay, let me mention. Landon says I watched a documentary they made about Jack Kirby today, and man, that dude was so freaking amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's also like, I mean, it's a generational thing. Like he was in the right place at the right time, to where he was really an early creator of everything, but also like he launched everything, like you know, and it's like we admire the Image guys, and they launched their books, but they didn't. You know, if only all of them stuck with it, what kind of amazing thing would it be now? You know,
can you imagine?
I know Eric Lawson stuck with Savage Dragon. Todd with you know, but like
Todd didn't stick with it long enough.
We were still going. Yeah, it would have been outstanding. I wish, man, it would have been so cool.
Yeah, I wish Todd had kept drawing Spawn, because I literally stopped reading when he stopped drawing it. Like that was, man, I loved that book. I think that was my favorite of all the Image creator created sort of properties of the initial thing. I was like all in. I was just like, oh, I want to be like Todd. Like I remember getting big, large, some of the big paper, like not 11 by 17, but like 17 by like 14 or something like that, like paper sheets, and trying to recreate one of the Hobgoblin splash pages from the freaking X-Men book, you know, or the Spider-Man book, whatever he did. And man, I wanted an ounce of that energy. And like there was other, like the guy that I wanted to draw like the most though, like I didn't even bother because in my mind he was like unattainable, was Dale Keown. Like I was such a huge fan of Dale Keown.
I love if I could choose one book that I would have loved to seen just go issue to issue to issue, it would have been The Pit. Yeah, it's like it wasn't Shakespeare written, you know, it wasn't anything outstanding, but man, just like his work got increasingly better with every issue, even the coloring, even, it's like,
yeah.
Well,
there was
I
issue
always
2, I
look
think.
forward to it.
It was
yeah, I mean, there was other people helping him or something, but
it's 2 issues in that second book.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not the fastest artist, and I would be willing. See, there's a book where if 3 issues came out a year, I would be totally happy.
Yeah.
As long as it continued, but not to be. I looked at his early stuff, his recent stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. It doesn't have the same energy. It's a lot more detail, but not as fun.
Well, have you seen his? Did you ever see his Darkness Pit crossover book he did?
Probably.
Dude, that stuff is amazing. Like Darkness and Pit crossover is, for me, was where it was at. Like, oh man, like I wished he was doing that stuff. I was like, oh, just keep doing this, and it was just like, he's like, nah, I'm gonna go off and be a rock star, and I was like, all right.
Yeah. But it's funny because I worked for this guy Barry Blair.
Wait a minute, you worked for Barry Blair?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was totally into all those books.
Yeah. Briefly,
all the Dragon Force stuff he did.
Yeah, I wanted to do Dragon Force because he showed me Dale's work in it. Dale at that point already stopped working for him or something. But I inked a bunch of Barry stuff and maybe some other artists, I forget. Not near. I mean, that was my early stuff. It wasn't nearly.
Just so you know, man, good, it's never too far away from me.
But okay, you mentioned somebody. I'll get to him in a minute. But like, my earliest inspirations, of course, without a doubt, Bernie Wrightson. Like,
yes.
His Swamp Thing and then later his Frankenstein work was insane. I had the Bernie Wrightson Look Back book that I destroyed because I was looking at it so much. I had the studio book with there you go. With him, Kaluta, Jeff Johns, and Barry Smith.
Right.
And I mean, I can learn from every artist, but specifically I had Barry Smith in mind, and the other artist was one you just mentioned before, which is P. Craig Russell.
Yeah,
I love P. Craig Russell's work,
dude.
And this is more. I mean, his new work is fantastic in a different way. But his earlier work was grittier, I guess you could say. I forget that he put out this book through Eclipse. I forget the name of it. I have it here somewhere, I believe.
Ring of the Nibbling. There's all his. He did a bunch of those.
It was a black and
retellings
white
of operas.
Right, but it was like a space opera.
Killraven?
No, it was. I forget if it was after Killraven. Yeah, I'm not going to think of it right at the moment, but anyway, it's like I had that black and white book forever. The copy I have now is like the second or third copy I bought of it. But yeah, it was a black and white Eclipse comic, totally independent, totally like open-ended, that never had a second issue.
Wow.
But it was gorgeous to look at. He's really good with people. He's really good with feathering. He's really good with using reference and just getting backgrounds right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of, you can tell he's influenced by like Wally Wood and stuff.
Yes, Wally Wood.
But it was like combination of that book and of course his Killraven book, which I thought was phenomenal stuff. And that was a bit experimental, and I'm not sure how successful it was, but me and Jimmy loved that Killraven book.
I have it here next to my desk. It's a great book.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, because like Don McGregor was the writer, and he can go on for a whole page of lettering, you know, just a whole page of lettering with some art on it. So it was like also insanely of that time. I don't think it would go well with some audiences, but I love that. I love the style in it. I love his experimental nature. He's put stars everywhere, of course.
Yeah.
It's just fun. But yeah, I mean, that evolved into his later style where he was doing like opera stuff.
Yeah.
But I tell you, like my brother knows everybody in this industry, right? P. Craig Russell is the only person I met before my brother met him.
Really?
Yeah, because I did what was it? Some soldiers, like I forget. There's when soldiers come back from war. This was a charity for them. Anyway, I was involved in a comic book that was for the charity, and Craig Russell did some of the artwork in it. And so the guy that was in charge of putting the book together, he was like, Pete Craig is coming over. You want to meet him? I was like,
I want
to? And it was like, you know, he came by just to pick up his pages. You know, my friend took out the pages and we were all looking at them together and stuff. And Greg's going like, oh, yeah, I remember doing these. It's like, it's kind of funny. But yeah, it's just nice to meet him. I really didn't talk to him about anything. I didn't want to be pushy. He's coming to pick up some original artwork.
Right.
But it's one of the few people I met. Like I told my brother, it was like I met him. He's like, oh, I never met him. It's like, really?
That's funny.
It's impossible.
Yeah, a lot of those guys of that group, like him, what's the other guy? The guy that did the Return of the Living Dead art.
Return of the Living Dead?
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Hildebrandt, but it's not. It's the guy that did all William Stout. You know those guys.
Yeah,
they were like they're all, a lot of those guys, like when you meet them now at shows, they're very cantankerous. Like when I've had the chance to meet them, at least at San Diego Comic-Con, they're always like, yeah, kid, what do you want?
Well, conventions can be hard, and those guys have been around forever.
They've been grinding it forever. So
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is like, it's like unfortunate those guys have been run through the ringer. Like Bernie was like one of the exceptions where he was still like, you could go up and see him and he still wasn't quite like, the magic hadn't been fully burned out of him as a,
I tell you, yeah. My like, and I realize what goes into being a creator at a con, and I'm not phased positive or negative or anything. I'm just always glad to meet the creators.
Yeah.
But yeah. I will say the worst two scenarios of meeting creators at conventions were Bernie Wrightson and Bill Sienkiewicz.
Really?
Because okay, so I was at one convention. I had a table. My brother had a table, and I was walking around, and I saw him. So I walked up to his table, and we were talking for a little bit. And he goes, "Hey, look behind you. Is Bernie?" And I was like, "Oh, hey." And so I said hello, and he's looking over me, like he's in a totally different world, and he just starts talking to my brother like I'm not there. Like,
wow.
It's like, okay, whatever. And my brother's like trying to say, don't worry about it. He's got his mind on something else, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I kind of laughed about it, to myself. But I would have loved to have a real special moment with him. It didn't work out. Oh well, big deal.
Oh man.
And Bill Sienkiewicz, let's see. I was talking to a friend of mine at a convention, and Bill walks up and sort of takes over the conversation, like completely ignoring that I'm there. And I'm like, "Hey, Bill." And he's like, "Who are you?" I tell him who I'm at. And he's like, "Okay." It's like, it's like, he doesn't care.
So anyways, like I was saying.
Like, can you give me some coffee, kid?
Yeah.
It's like,
oh my God.
It's just timing, it's just timing. It's like, I realize what conventions are like and how, when I have a table, how crazy my brain gets. I'm barely able to, form a thought sometimes because conventions are so insane. It's funny.
Well, I'm happy to say I was able to finish this page, this ad.
Get the launch tomorrow, folks.
You're pushing me to launch already. I see how it is.
Nah, do it right. Take your time.
Yeah. It was weird. Like, I messed up my mailing list by like not realizing that the whole mailing list thing, it doesn't start when you post the mailing list. It starts the minute you start working on your campaign for the mailing list.
Right.
So I biffed that one up big time initially, but it turned out to kind of work in my benefit a little bit, because I've spent a little more time prepping the book and getting the ducks in a row, as they say.
Right.
And but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad in a way that I messed it up, because I was able to really get things more in a fashion where it's not just haphazardly just kind of like, oh, I'm going to do this thing and hopefully it works out. Like,
yeah, so. I mean, you can learn a lot from, Jack Kirby, how he did his crowdfunding.
No, did he do crowdfunding?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, fuck, that's crazy. Take it easy on this bumpkin here, Peter. Like, I'll believe anything.
That time me and Stan were hanging out.
You were friends with Stan?
Well, my brother was. It's like I saw him at conventions like I saw, Loughran in passing.
I was gonna say in silence.
In silence. As I drooled as he walked out.
As a deaf mute.
Yeah. Nah, it's like I've seen him many times at conventions and could have at any point, gone to his table and waited for hours and then eventually shook his hand or said hello to him to his face or whatever. But I'm fine. It's like I know and love his work and appreciate all the good he's done.
Just watch Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. You can just hear his voice over and over again.
Yeah. And I know like the history of everything is foggy and whatever, and but regardless, I appreciated his character. It's like I loved his bullpen bulletins. I read those top to bottom all the time.
You know what? I did too. I read those when I saw them in the books.
Yeah, I mean, to me, a comic book experience was.
He put out a book of those, didn't he? Like
I think so. Yeah.
I thought there was some book thing he did.
But to me, a comic book experience was always more than the story itself. It was all the extra stuff. In Marvel Comics, it was bullpen bulletins. It was the ads for upcoming other comics. It was all the weird ads as well.
Yeah.
But the letters page, I used to read the editor's comments first and then go into the letters and read the letters. It's like a comic. I can drag every penny I put into buying it out of it.
Yeah.
Like my experience. Read it cover to cover and then read it again.
Yeah.
Pour over the art for as long as I had it. I keep going back to old issues and looking it over.
Yeah. That's funny. I mean, because that's really how it was back then. I mean, now, like, I get some of these books and I can't read them because they're just terrible, or I just look at them once and I file them away in a stack. You know what I mean? And but back then, I mean, most of my comics are like could barely be graded probably a 3.0. Like I've flipped through them so much that the spines are completely cracked and they're dog-eared and it's crazy.
Yeah. Dori saying, "Oh my God, Peter! I don't know what I'm sure it's some off-colored joke or something." Salazar says he met Mike Grell at a convention called Vera. I love Mike Grell. I love his work. I never met him, but he's a fantastic artist and creator.
Yeah.
And Warlord was my favorite DC comic, definitely.
Who was?
Warlord.
Will Ward?
His Warlord.
Oh yeah, Weird War. Is that the one you mean, or?
No, Warlord. L-O-R-D.
I'm missing.
Warlord. No, you never read it?
No. I don't think so. I'll have to go look that up.
Yeah, I put it in the chat. Warlord. Right. I know I have a New York accent.
Warlord.
It's about it. Yes, it's about.
There we go.
He was a.
It's like the old gray-haired sort of.
Yeah, he was a man who winds up in the center of the earth that has prehistoric animals and tribes, and
yeah,
it was an awesome comic. Yeah. Dori says, I once invited on Peter Pan as Austrian to paint with him. That was as famous as I need to get. And she says, think about Kirby crowdfunding.
Wow. Yeah, can't even imagine. It's unfortunate because that is where he probably would have been most successful.
Yeah.
Like, at least as far as financially.
It was such a different world when he was making comics, even later in his career. I mean, he paved the way for us in many ways, and it's like,
indeed.
I'll always love Marvel and DC characters, even if I don't agree with how they're handling them.
Right.
They should never. They screwed themselves up in many ways, renumbering them, renaming books left and right, getting, changing the creative team every 3 issues. I mean, putting up events where they bleed into single titles and stuff, and it's like so many things they did for business, and I understand it's a business first, but at the same time, it's multi-million-dollar companies that don't really need to make a dime. They make enough money on Spider-Man socks and beach towels.
And underoos.
And underoos to pay for everything. Crazy.
Indeed.
So, we've been going a long time, and I think I'll stop it around 2 hours. So we got a little time. If there's anything we haven't been talking about, and let me just thank the chat first. Thanks to everybody coming out. Thanks for dropping your amazing comments, and thanks Frank for dropping everybody's links.
You ever get Frog G in here?
He's been here, yeah. He's
okay, cool. Here tonight. If not, Frog G needs to come and be on your show more often as well. You need as many link mods as you can get. Because they really those guys are champions on these streams, man. Like all the mods.
Who is I meant to give I have a friend that shows up at EJB. I was like, I should give him a wrench. He's here.
Yeah.
I think it is stuff after the fact or whatever. But yeah, I got to be on YouTube to do it. Drop wrenches on people.
Yeah. I usually have to pop in on my phone when I'm on stream, and people are like, "Hey, give me a wrench," and I'm like, "All right, give me a second. Hopefully, I don't kick myself."
Yeah, my internet's not strong enough to handle more than one device.
Oh my gosh!
So.
Oh my
God. Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
We need to get you better internet.
What is it? Neff said my cat screwed up my internet or something. He made some funny comment once. It gets bad. Yeah, it's like I start seeing like with a phone, you see the whatchamacallit, the dots, the
We're talking about the
bars.
Yeah.
If my internet gets bad, I start seeing bars. It's like, oh, okay.
Did he say stars? No, bars.
Bars. It's bad enough because, like, I know there's a delay with my signal. Like, when I'm streaming with people, especially if more and more people come on. It's horrible.
Oh, wow.
But it's workaround. You can work around it, but eventually, when I start getting paid on a regular basis,
you're gonna get one of those fake trees put up that's an internet satellite.
I'm just gonna go up in a rocket ship myself and put a satellite right above my house.
So finished it, man.
Single. Finished it?
The last page, man. Technically page, it's like an ad, really.
Right.
Got my first elf to appear in the book right there. He's a douche. Yeah, nobody's gonna like him.
That didn't help. Okay.
What happened?
I was trying to make yours bigger. And
it's fine. I think you clicked the corner of it. But it is.
Yeah. I'll make you full. Full. Look at that. It's amazing. And Dale's here in the next chapter. One of these characters will be eaten. Okay.
That's right, friend. There's the elf dude. I don't know if
Matt goes visible. Still at boys.
That's right.
Still going.
Still going. Like the Energizer Bunny.
Gotta go longer than Shelby's stream. No, we're not going.
Oh, you mean the other day? Oh, yeah. I was torturing him, man. He's like, I'm just trying to get some sleep here. I'm like, I'm sorry, Shelby.
I go at the very end because I was waking up. Yeah. It's like, hey, these guys are on. Holy shit! It said 7 hours.
Yeah, he doesn't have me on anymore because of that. It's like, oh, I see how it is, Dan. I let you in here, and the next thing you know, it's Tuesday and it's Sunday right now.
Yeah, but look how many hits that video got as opposed to his regular hits.
Did it? That'd be awesome. I would love to be part of some sort of crazy bump.
Yeah. I'm sure he got more views than his regular videos.
He had a lot of people in there, though. I mean, like a lot of other.
Wasn't just you
in there. I don't think it was just me on that stream. No, there were some other people in there. I think Skip Edwards was in there. Billy Basco, colorist extraordinaire to the stars.
To the stars.
Yeah. Have you seen his Charlie's London stuff that he's been doing?
Yeah. So
Ink Spots and him started doing that thing together, and I would be seeing these pages that they would be putting out, and the work that they're putting in, and geez, man, I'm like,
it reminds me of like early heavy metal magazine. Like they're just going for it, It's kind of just like So I don't care what people think. We're just going to do what we're setting out for, extreme goal and make it happen.
We don't care if anybody buys this. We're not here to make monies. What's that?
No, it looks really good.
Yeah, it came out pretty good. To put the little.
Sounds like a Charlie London. Sounds like a detective story. I don't even know what it is.
It's autobiographical, or is it autobiographical? Is that the right word? It's a biography piece of Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, okay.
That is fully endorsed by the estate.
Nice.
They're actually one of his granddaughters is editor on the book.
Cool.
So It just, and the art, man, I saw some of the black and white art that I saw in that is just, they're doing a lot of kind of like the gray tone stuff, kind of like I'm doing, and it's
Right.
next level. I saw that and I was like, maybe I should rethink some shit I've done and change it to look more like that. I'm like,
Maybe
that's like where it's
I
at.
should just start my book over. My book's at.
Basically, I'm like, maybe I should rethink my decisions in life. Billy and everybody are like, no.
Dori says, Salazar isn't a mod on my channel. Well, he's a mod on my channel.
Modrific.
I got back in the groups, Matt says.
Back in the New York groove.
Go on or go home.
That's right.
Yes.
That's what I'm always saying.
I brought paint and ran into a painter today. Guess what he said? Go big. LOL.
It's my goat.
And Salazar dropping Matt's channel. See, he's got his name in his word, in his channel name.
Which Matt?
Matt Barr.
No, Matt Barr. Too Far Bar. Extraordinaire. Rock and Roll Ninja. Back it now, friend.
Around this time, y'all are done. Sean Zilla's art show starts, a.k.a. Sean Howe.
Oh.
Cool. Yeah, well, I'm showed out. Showed up.
You're showed out? Show enough?
I'm sure. I'm showed out. Yeah, 2 in a row. That's my quota.
Come on. Got to do 6-hour stream after this of just the hangout stream.
I've done plenty of long streams, and I will, do so again. But when it's worth it, when we got campaigns, to, sell to everybody.
There you go.
It's much better if you're making money, big money.
That's true.
Doing the long streams, not just like, hey, it's Tuesday, let's do a long stream.
I like doing those. I do those all the time. The obscene streams.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, I definitely hung out with.
You've been on them
privately, where we're just going for hours and hours, and yeah, I've been on your channel.
Yeah,
a couple times, right?
Veteran. Veteran of the nonsense stream that is my channel.
Yes. So yeah, let's get ready to wrap.
All right, friend.
People can look forward to Goblin Girl, possibly crowdfunding in September.
Early September. I'm hoping like first or second week of September. There it is.
Is the printed version?
This is the classic printed version. It's probably going to be offered as an add-on extra because the art has changed. I think this section here is the only thing that's in the book still. This top panel has been changed, and then every page after this has been lovingly recreated in long form comic book story fashion. This book reads like a kind of like the page I was just drawing. It's like a shorthand sort of previously on Goblin Girl. She went through all this stuff, and it's just there's no real character dialogue. It's lots of just narration.
Right.
Yeah, there's literally no dialogue, I think, until about the end here. Yeah, like the last 3 pages, the only place there's dialogue. So these pages here will be lovingly recreated in volume 2. They won't be in volume 1. There is some stuff that's not in here that is all in volume 1, because I had to introduce some more characters. That originally there was one that was going to be in this book, but I ended up leaving out the pages because I was trying to keep the print run down, the print size down, because at the time I was like, I can only afford this much to print on comics, so I made 16-page book with this because the printing was less, and that I made that basically so I could have books to sell at conventions when I was sitting with my friends at tables. So yeah.
Dori asks, is it in pre-launch?
Yes, the mailing list is live.
Pre-launch page yet. Oh, it is live.
Mailing list? Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get that link and put it.
There's a video too. We could even play.
Yeah. Go share. Let's show people.
All
if
right.
You have the links and can go there and.
I most likely do here.
Well, welcome Dale A. If I didn't say hello before, I forget. Yeah, I forget who's in pre-launch and like everybody. Like there's some books that were like pre-launch page for 6 months before the campaign goes live.
Yeah,
you know, it's hard to keep track of. That's so right. Dal is Shy Guy.
So I drop it in the private chat, or because I don't.
If you can you do it?
I don't know if I can drop it in comments. I think you would have to do it.
Well, no, I mean.
Oh, you want me to just bring it up?
Yeah,
it's up already.
Yeah. You
give
can
me
bring
a
it up
here,
and
then.
show it off and
share the stream.
You could drop it in the private chat, the link, and I can drop it into the comments.
All right. I might have to mute myself.
All right. Well, here we go.
So, is it sharing? There it is.
It should come
up.
Yeah.
This is my campaign here. This is my sign up. If you sign up here, you'll be getting a print from Jason Bascom of Unhinged Entertainment. Absolute Book 2 is in demand right now. Back his project as well. But he so graciously did a special print that's only for the mailing list signups. So do that, and there will be another secret item that will be coming to the backers when they sign up. So this is kind of the synopsis of my book. I could do it in my friend voice. Hello there, friend. Do you seek adventure, sword and sorcery, tales of blood and gore? Then this is the title for you, friend. A tome of gruesome, disgusting, vile, treacherous tales, guaranteed to thrill. And if that's not enough, there's also a heavy helping of massive boobs. Yes, friend, boobs. See, I promised boobs. But this tale isn't just about boobs, friend. Well, no, not completely about boobs. It's a tale of hideously grotesque Gin, the Goblin Girl, and her escape from the prophecy execution. A quest of legendary adventure begins, friend, right here. Joined by her childhood protector, Rathul, and a small band of rogues, including, well, not myself, but the disembodied wizard head, which is, he's a gross fiend. You will meet him eventually. An epic quest with cursed treasure and extreme bloody violence will ensue in this book, friend. Yes, ooh, this is exciting. I'm going to need to back this book myself, I guess. There's some more graphics. There's some creatures. You will witness epic battles with ancient, malevolent, cruel monsters in a decaying world. Yes, decaying. And then over here we got extreme gore and viscera, life juices of all kinds for your valuable coin. What else are you waiting for, friend? Sign up now and receive a free prize when you back. Yes. GoblinGirl.com. or
Secret
Goblin
free
Girl
pass.
Indiegogo. Yes. And here's the video.
Yeah.
Should we play this? Let's see if this plays.
Yeah.
See if I can make it full screen.
See if this sound.
It's loading.
So many books on the shelf to choose from. Having trouble deciding what kinds of books to get, friend? Yes. Oh, yes, I am. Maybe try Indiegogo. Indiegogo? What's on Indiegogo? Well, how about this? It's a new book from Indiegogo. Dan Piegal's The Goblin Girl.
In a world of dark magic, legendary heroes, and fantastic curses, was born into it a goblin girl named Gin, and her friend Rathul helps her escape a dungeon which she has been cursed to be left in. Now, a full-color graphic novel of 80 pages of substance, violence, despicable disgustingness will give you more magic and epic boobs covered in blood than you can shake a magic bag of beans at. You know what I'm getting at. It's awesome. And there's boobs. Yes, epic goblin boobs. You need this book in your life.
This book is awesome! Oh my gosh, so good. Hey, wait. Sorry, friend, you can't have that copy. That is our display copy for purposes of advertisement only. That sucks. But you can get your own copy. Really? How do I get my own copy? Go to Indiegogo, Dan Piegal's The Goblin Girl, and sign up for the mailing list. Get your very own copy of this book. Yes, that's right, friend. How does this make you feel? Excited? Oh my gosh, I can't wait for this book. It's gonna be amazing. Yes, it is, friend. So go sign up now. I'm gonna go sign up right now. Oh my god. That's right, friends. Sign up now. You don't want to miss out. Indiegogo, Dan Piegal's The Goblin Girl.
There it is, friends. Dan Piegal's The Goblin Girl. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Drop some links in here.
Dale says, I do like puppets.
Well, everybody's telling me that the little red guy needs to be in the new trailer as well. So I'm still trying to figure out how that's gonna fit in there. But you never know. Oh yeah, I can't drop into the chat. You'd have to do it. Sorry, Peter.
Salazar already had it, so it's in.
Oh, sweet! Salazar's on top of it. That's a mod.
Yes,
that's a real man's man mod, friend. Name like Salazar carries a giant machete in his back pocket that he chops those links up with.
He has goggles. So yeah, that's you know
that's the deal.
Dan's project, and then go sign up and
yes, friend.
Tell your friends. It sounds nice. I like this guy.
We like you too, friend. You drop links like a boss.
Dan's an awesome guy.
So are you, Peter. I'm glad to call you friend, in an unfake way.
I try to be unfake.
Yeah, hopefully one of these days we'll come out of the backside of this lockdown business and we'll be at some shows again soon, and we'll be able to hang out, and maybe get some barbecue or something.
Definitely.
Or a fish fillet.
That says huge. Go huge. Yeah, Frank says, I am in the market for a machete. I'm a real nice one at the academy. Okay.
Nice.
I don't have a daily use for a machete. Otherwise,
I have a samurai sword somewhere.
nice.
I got it for free because I was in the Highlander video club. I was getting Highlander the series like mailed to me in the mail, and they would like every time you bought a season, they would ratchet up like free gifts. And at one point, they sent me a full on samurai sword replica. So I have that still.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm endeavoring to do the same.
Are there any last remarks you want to make before we head out?
Not a ton, other than I really appreciate everybody showing up to watch us draw and listen, and also like I just appreciate all the kind freaking people that are over here that have been supporting me and shown interest in my little dream project here of doing my own book. I'm endeavoring to do my best to give the best quality work that I can for the money that people are going to be willing to spend on my product. So yeah, I'm just, like I said, every day humbled by just the generosity and the kindness that I've received. So
yeah, and I
endeavor to give it back.
I've seen Dan behind the scenes sweating out every last detail, so I know the amount of work he's putting into this baby, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you will be enjoying this. So
I think so.
Yeah, that's way cool, and definitely want you back on once you've gone live at some point
for sure.
And when I'm streaming every day this month on my channel here, so it's already been a more incredible, busier time for me. But maybe like next month we can definitely do more streaming on your channel, and you could.
That would be awesome. I always
longer Death Killer streams,
The Death Killer streams. That's right. That's right. Killing death over on my streams. Death's like, oh no, and I'm like, oh yes, death.
Yes.
Tiny death is getting eviscerated.
Yeah, but these are always fun. It's always fun to hang out with you.
Dude, this is awesome. I was, like I said, I was irritated beyond belief that I missed out last week. I was like, why? Like, it was just the worst. I felt like such a jackhole.
I understand how, like, times can easily get mixed up, and
sleep.
You shut up when you thought it was on, so like you shut up on time. But you
was like popped in there. It was like the Tumbleweed was in there hanging out. It's like, hey buddy, what's going on? I'm like, Tumbleweed, what the hell are you doing here? Oh, you know me. I love an after show. 5 hours later. I'm like, oh my god, yeah. It was like Sad Trombone was in there, like had his little drink in the corner, and he's like, hey, how's it going? I was just like, oh man.
Hey, Dori signed up, Dan.
Oh, thank you, friend.
Got another one.
It'll be good. I promise.
Cool.
If anything, it'll be visually awesome, like comics in the 90s.
That's right.
I can guarantee 100% visually it's going to be amazing. Hopefully my storytelling will be just as lovely. I had Phil Diaz read my initial book that I did, and he gave me the thumbs up and said that it's not just hype. So I felt good about that going into it that the basis of story that I'm telling seems to be working good. Berserker not
It's not-
friend on Indiegogo.
Yeah, that's our friend's book. That was before the what is it? Keanu Reeves Berserk.
Yeah. Was it before Beardzerker?
It was before Berserk.
Oh, Beardzerker is going to be beautiful as well, friend.
I was dropping all the links for Dan that day. I'm
Awesome.
not sure what day he's talking about, but that day.
Mm.
But yeah, all right, everybody. If you haven't already,
Cool deal.
give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Share this with your friends, and come by tomorrow. I got more people's coming. Who do I have tomorrow? I forget. Such a long list of people. I do have the Pimp Your Comic Saturday at 1. I have Jim Loughran Sunday night. I have Zoe Bones Friday for our horror themed episode for Friday the 13th. And also my 666th video. So that would be a lot of fun. And she possibly is going to cosplay.
Devil, you say.
Or at least be in makeup. So that would be my first cosplayer on stream. And yeah, I'm blanking on who's tomorrow. Oh, man.
Well, whoever it is, friend, they won't want to miss out.
Oh, I know who it is. It's Eric
Great
Fares. I was on his channel last week. He's coming on my channel tomorrow. And that will be an early one at 11 a.m. So get here early and start your popcorn.
Be there or be square.
All right, everybody. Love you all. Thanks for coming. That's for chatting. And,
yes, thank you.